Istanbul, a city that stands at the crossroads of Europe and Asia, is set to become the focal point of an ambitious engineering project that could change the world. This colossal undertaking, which is already in motion, is a modern-day version of a grand idea that has been proposed multiple times throughout history. Its potential to transform global shipping routes, while creating both economic opportunities and significant challenges, has captured the attention of the world. The project, known as Canal Istanbul, has been dubbed a crazy idea by its supporters and detractors alike. As it unfolds, it is set to reshape not only the geography of Istanbul, but also the political, environmental, and economic landscape of Turkey. Let's dive into the history, the vision, and the hurdles that accompany this grand plan. Why Istanbul? Before delving into the specifics of the Canal Istanbul project, it's crucial to understand why Istanbul is such an important city. Historically, it was known as Constantinople and was one of the key trading hubs between Europe and Asia for centuries. Located along the Bosphorus Strait, Constantinople controlled the passage of goods between the Mediterranean and Black Sea. Up until the fall of Constantinople in 1453, this narrow waterway was the primary route for trade between East and West. Goods like silk, spices, tea, opium, and fine china passed through these straits, making the city an economic powerhouse. After the Ottomans conquered the city and renamed it Istanbul, they imposed heavy taxes on goods passing through the Bosphorus, which significantly disrupted trade routes. This forced explorers, including Christopher Columbus, to seek alternative paths to the east, which ultimately led to the discovery of the Americas. Despite this disruption, Istanbul remained a key point of connection between the Mediterranean and the Black Sea. In 1936, the Montreux Convention established Turkish sovereignty over the Bosphorus and the Dardanelles, regulating the passage of civilian and military vessels. While it allowed civilian ships to pass for a fee, the treaty also imposed strict rules on military traffic, thus giving Turkey significant geopolitical influence. However, as global shipping has grown, the Bosphorus Strait has become increasingly congested, leading to two major problems: overtraffic and severe pollution. In 2023 alone, nearly 39,000 ships passed through the Bosphorus, an untenable number for such a narrow waterway. This has not only resulted in air quality deterioration in Istanbul, but also frequent maritime accidents and environmental damage. The vision behind Canal Istanbul. To solve these issues, Turkey has embarked on the construction of Canal Istanbul, a project that promises to create an alternative route for ships between the Black Sea and the Mediterranean. The canal is set to span 45 kilometers, making it a major infrastructure project. The canal would be wider than the Panama and Suez canals, allowing even the largest vessels to navigate through. This project is deeply personal for Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdoğan, who envisions it as a critical step about his desire to reassert Turkey's control over its waterways and reduce its reliance on the Bosphorus. The canal itself will cut through a series of existing waterways, including the Sea of Marmara, and will be connected to the Black Sea by a series of locks and bridges. The first phase of the project, an 860-meter bridge, has already broken ground, and the canal is slated to be operational by 2027. The historical roots of the canal idea. The concept of an artificial waterway linking the Black Sea to the Mediterranean is not new. Nearly 500 years ago, Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent, ruler of the Ottoman Empire, proposed building such a canal to provide a direct route for transporting goods and materials to his navy. Despite initial enthusiasm, the project was deemed too costly and difficult, and was abandoned after several attempts by different sultans. It wasn't until the late 20th century that the idea resurfaced. In 1985, a government consultant suggested that building a new canal could help alleviate the traffic and pollution in the Bosphorus. Although the idea gained little traction at the time, it piqued the interest of local politicians, including Erdoğan, who was then a rising star in Turkish politics. By 1999, Erdoğan had become convinced that building the canal could be the cornerstone of his vision for a neo-Ottoman Turkey. He aimed to make Turkey a regional powerhouse with both economic and military influence, and the canal would be a symbol of that ambition. In 2011, as Prime Minister, Erdoğan announced his intention to build the canal, calling it his crazy project. Construction and challenges. Upon becoming president in 2014, Erdoğan wasted no time in making his vision a reality. In addition to the canal itself, Turkey is also building the world's fourth-largest airport in Istanbul, including the creation of new housing and the generation of thousands of jobs. However, the project $10 billion and $65 billion, depending on various estimates. Erdoğan's administration argues that the canal will be economically viable, generating up to $8 billion, only provides 25% of the city's drinking water. Environmental and political concerns. Environmentalists are especially concerned about the potential ecological damage caused by the canal. The construction will affect the water quality in the Sea of Marmara, as the Black Sea, which has a different salinity level, will introduce fresh water into the ecosystem, disrupting the delicate balance. There is also the issue of increased salinity in the Marmara, which could harm the local marine life. Additionally, the canal threatens protected natural areas along its route. The region is home to migratory birds, including flamingos and eastern imperial eagles, whose habitats will be destroyed by the construction. Furthermore, the canal will require the removal of hundreds of thousands of trees, further exacerbating Turkey's already significant deforestation problem. From a political perspective, the project has sparked controversy both within Turkey and internationally. The canal threatens to undermine the Montreux Convention, which regulates the passage of military vessels through the Bosphorus. The Turkish military and NATO allies have expressed concerns that the canal could escalate tensions between Russia and NATO. Furthermore, some critics argue that it could lead to the militarization of the Black Sea, contrary to the Montreux Convention's goal of keeping the region demilitarized. The canal's economic impact. Despite the environmental and political risks, Erdoğan insists that the canal will bring about significant economic benefits. The project is expected to create up to 10,000 new jobs and stimulate local economies along its route. Additionally, by the enormous investment, Erdoğan's plan to charge tolls for shipping traffic could make the billions in revenue. The Bosphorus is a smaller waterway, the future of Canal Istanbul. As construction progresses, the fate of Canal Istanbul remains uncertain. While Erdoğan remains determined to see the project through, it faces substantial opposition from environmentalists, local communities, and even some military officials. Despite the challenges, Erdoğan's vision of a new Ottoman Empire is clear, and the canal is a critical part of that vision. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the world's most fascinating projects, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more in-depth explorations of the world's biggest and most daring engineering feats. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.